So today I want to talk about this situation that occurred with this church riot over there in Minnesota. So it's not funny. It's really not funny. But these people are protesting ICE or whatever around the country. Okay, fine. Do your thing. If you wanna protest ICE because of whatever particular reasons or that you have, then fine, you can do that. But these people took it upon themselves. This group of people took it upon themselves to barge or to burst into an active church service as these congregants are worshiping God. Like what? Why would anyone think why are we at a place in the world where it's just okay to do things like this now? Like no one has any type of respect or regard for people's belief systems anymore. Like the church is supposed to be a sacred space. It is a sacred space. And to have people barge into a sacred space because of their political beliefs is just absolutely ridiculous. It doesn't matter what your political belief is. There should be no reason in the world that you should be barging into a place that is supposed to be a safe space. We have elderly in these churches. We have small children. We have babies. We have people that are to be protected. And you're coming in here guns a-blazing. Well, not really, just that's just a saying. But you come in here with, on 10 and, people looking around like, what the heck going on up in here? Like, should I be questioning my safety now that I'm in this space? All because these people believe or they know that the pastor is, supposed to be some sort of ICE agent or some sort of director of ICE, which, if they want to protest him, fine. But, don't go into a church service and do all that, hoopla. But I'm a save my comments for now, and I'm going to share a little clip with y'all. Little news clip. So we're going to listen to what they talk about, and then we'll get back to it.
Details. Hi, Jack. The Department of Justice is investigating a disruption at a Minnesota church over the weekend. What's the DOJ saying about that?
That's right. Yesterday, during morning services at a St. Paul church, there was a disruption. A group of demonstrators came in and were protesting and chanting anti-ICE slogans in the middle of this worship service. Senior justice officials, including the Attorney General and the head of the Civil Rights Division, have said this is a version of intimidating Christians and that they were interfering with their First Amendment rights.
So did y'all just hear what he just said? He said, this is a version of intimidation and you are interfering with these worshipers' First Amendment rights. So you're all those people that done went into this church service rioting and protesting are essentially breaking the law. And they are to be held accountable. Let's continue and listen more.
Rights that are protected under what's called the FACE Act, which is an act that was designed to protect access to clinics, but also protects people in worship, in houses of worship in particular. And so,
now there you have it. It's called the FACE Act, and this act is to protect worshipers as in their service, right? It's also something so it's supposed to protect clinics, right? So how there are protesters, abortion protesters, right? And they stand outside of Planned Parenthoods or sometimes even schools. When I was in high school, there were like these protesters outside of the school, and they would be protesting abortion, and they would have these like signs, and they would have pictures of aborted babies and things of that nature. Same thing that they would do in front of Planned Parenthoods. Now, it's against the law for those protesters to barge into a Planned Parenthood and protest in that manner, right? They can get reprimanded for doing such. In the same way that these individuals can be reprimanded because they are breaking the law by barging into a worship service and interrupting a protected class's right to worship God. You can't make this stuff up. You can't make this stuff up.
They're investigating whether there are violations of the FACE Act and pledged to prosecute those demonstrators who they say are not protected under the First Amendment in that house of worship.
And the Department.
So essentially, these people are in a world of trouble. Like, you can't do stuff like this. And I want to share it because I was talking to, I actually posted about this on Threads, and this was my little thread. I said interrupting and rioting a church service is psychotic behavior. As a people, we got to do better. And let me tell you, the people were upset. They were upset. All I said was, we got to do better as a people because interrupting and rioting a church service is psychotic behavior. So these people are literally out of their minds, and it's just not okay. So following up on my tweet, these are some tweets that people left, or some comments that people left on my thread. I'm saying tweets, but it's thread. I don't have a Twitter. So one of the and it's so funny. It's so funny because the devil worshippers came out to play. Hold up. There's a comment from someone. It's the Church of Satan. Hold up. The Church of Satan. Oh wait, let me exit out of this. Hold up. Because I gotta show you all this. Because these people are psychotic. Hold up. It says Church of Satan Anarchist. Like, what does that even mean? Hold up. Is it? You see this? It says, I wish you would cry harder and not stop. Like, I wasn't even crying. Like, these people are like, they're out of control. All right, so let me share some of these tweets with y'all. So, and there's a huge theme here. So someone said, tell that to Jesus. Someone said, then they should stay out of politics if they don't want the repercussions of being in politics. And then I said, with that logic, a group of people can storm into your house and riot because they don't agree with your politics. Is that right? And then this person goes, a church is not a house. Try to follow along. like what? And I said, a church is a house of worship. And then they said, this was a church service. And then they put up, they post a picture of the Ku Klux Klan in a church service. So it's just like, listen, I'm trying to figure out what the relevance of all of this is. Like, the point remains that these people shouldn't have been up and barging into this church service for like point blank period. Like, I don't care what y'all talk about, and they keep talking about tell that to Jesus. First off, they're using the situation all out of context, because the reason why Jesus flipped tables was because those people were treating God's temple and as a way to make money. And ultimately, Jesus is God. So Jesus had a particular purpose of why he was doing such things. You know what I mean? Those people ended up putting him on the cross. So there was a special divine purpose for why he decided to flip that table in the church service. And that does not give people the right, just because Jesus, Jesus didn't barge into a church service, a worship service, and cause havoc. He didn't do that. Let me make that clear. But that does not give people the right to then do that, to go into a church and riot and protest and interrupt a worship service. No. Because we are to obey the law. The Bible also says obey the law. So these people are talking about, oh, Jesus, talk to Jesus about that, as if laws don't exist, as if the Bible doesn't tell you to obey the law and, you know what I'm saying, follow the laws of the land. The law of the land says you are not to be going up into these facilities while people are worshiping, their God, and you are not to be interrupting them. This is a protected class. I don't care what your beliefs are. You are not to be doing that. So those are my little quick thoughts on that, because like this has really been rumbling in me, and I'm like, yeah, I need to make a little video about this, because these people are out of control. So hopefully, like, this whole situation, this whole setup looks cool. Like, this is my little first video, doing things this way. I'm really trying to like share my perspective on these different incidences that happen, because I'll be having things to say, and I figured, like, if I got something to say, might as well share it. You know what I mean? And then whoever listen, we can continue the conversation. You know what I mean? Like, leave comments below, whatever. Like, share your perspective. Like, do you agree with me? Do you not agree with me? Share scripture. Listen, like, I'm a believer. I believe in Jesus Christ. So everything that I do and all of my perspective, I try to align with the Bible, with the Word of God, to make sure that, I'm living a holy life and a righteous life as much as possible. Now, when it comes to situations like these, where apparently it was some sort of like pastor, or I don't know, like I guess she identifies as a pastor or something like that. And so a pastor organized this situation and organized this protest, a pastor, and barged into a sacred worship space. Make it make sense. So I'm gonna just leave it there. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for watching. Again, like this video, leave a comment below, and subscribe to the channel and help a brother out. Talk to y'all later.